Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you're here today. In today's video, we are talking about Loki episode 2. Lots to unpack here, and I have a lot of feelings, so let's just get right into it. I personally loved this episode. I thought it far surpassed the premiere of the show. I'm still warming up to the show. I'm really enjoying it, but in terms of all of the MCU shows that we've gotten so far, I'm having the hardest time with this show just getting to the emotional motivations of the characters. This is a more traditionally sci-fi type of show, and because of that, there are a lot of rules and a lot of things that we need to set up in order to understand the movement of the story and why things matter. So I felt like this episode was a ton of fun because we really got to explore what some of those rules are. What are the rules of the TVA? What governs what they do? Why do they do what they do? How do they do it? What are their operations? Those things are going to be really important in understanding the story. And this episode did a really good job of taking us on that journey and kind of educating us about the TVA and kind of the things that they do, but also in giving us a lot of really fun, cool moments. The episode started with one of my favorite scenes, which is the TVA going to this Renaissance fair to try and track down our other Loki variant, or who we believe is a Loki variant. We have been led to believe that it is a Loki variant, but I have my own thoughts and feelings around that, but we will get to it. I'm not entirely convinced. So we started at this Renaissance fair. It was such a fun scene, and I really enjoyed that they put in holding out for a hero, which just made me think about Shrek, and I think I'm not alone. But it was a really fun scene to see the TVA in this environment and also kind of understand a little bit more of the journey that the TVA has been on trying to catch this variant. It was also fun to see Loki trying his best to fool the TVA into putting him in charge and giving him resources and kind of setting him loose, and just seeing how they definitely have his number and are not going to be easily fooled by him. I also think that from the beginning of the episode to the end, we really see Loki kind of come from this point in the beginning of the episode where he wants to just get away, wants to fool them, wants to go do his own thing. And by the end of the episode, he is fully invested in what the TVA is doing and in the mission at hand. So when we finally, at the end of the episode, see him run through the door after this Lady Loki, he is likely invested in helping the TVA catch this person. I especially think that we're not necessarily at risk of these two Lokis teaming up, because Lady Loki really does not seem to want his help, really seems to kind of be almost rude to Loki and think that he is not nearly worth her time and just kind of in her way. So I really don't think that we're in a situation where we have to risk these two Lokis teaming up, because Lady Loki very much does not care for his presence and doesn't care for him being there and distracting from whatever it is that she's trying to do. I think what I want to see more from the show at this point is I want to understand a little bit more of Loki's motivations and what this character is supposed to learn and accomplish and do throughout the show. We did a pretty good job in Falcon and Winter Soldier of setting up in that first episode, really in the first half of the episode, setting up the journey that each of the characters was going to go on and what we would hope that they would learn throughout the TV show. I don't know that we've necessarily gotten that for this, particularly with Loki or Mobius, our two main characters. What is it that's motivating them? What's the journey that they need to go on? And what is going to bring them kind of a conclusion at the end of this show? Right now, we're playing with two characters that are a lot of fun and they're funny. I'm really, I'm getting a kick out of their relationship, and I'm enjoying seeing them interact on screen, but I'm not necessarily seeing what development we're trying to give these characters through the show. And that's one thing that I think is a really big opportunity for Loki, because Loki is one of the most fascinating characters in the MCU. We talked in my last video just about all the transformation that he has gone through. And so I do wonder, is that what we're trying to give this Loki? Are we trying to take him from villain to hero? Yes, he is the protagonist of this show. So Is he going to be the hero? What are the things that we need this character to learn and do in order for us to feel like we've gone on a full hero's journey with Loki? So that's really where I'm not. I didn't get a ton of development in this second episode, but using the second episode to set up just the rules and the structure for how things work in this world is pretty typical in terms of television episodic storytelling. And to that point, I think that's exactly what we can expect in episode 3, is just more of the emotional setup. So we've set up the framework for how things work. Now we need to set up, what does this all mean for our protagonist? What does this mean for moving him through the story and getting him to accomplish the things he needs to accomplish and develop as a character? I can say that personally, I am also very hungry to finally dive into what the multiverse means in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What does the multiverse actually look like? How are we going to play with this? Because we're really setting this up for what we know are going to be multiple installments in the MCU, multiple stories that are told around this theory of the multiverse. So I'm personally very excited to see us finally diving in now that Lady Loki has created the multiverse. We saw it at the end of this episode. She has effectively created it. That's why she was stealing all these charges. That's exactly what she's been trying to do. It's here. The multiverse is launched, it is here, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. Now, the topic that everybody wants to talk about, Lady Loki. I'm not actually totally convinced that it is a Loki variant. I know that the TVA seems pretty convinced, but this is also the first time where they've actually been able to interact with this variant without losing the entire team. No one has survived, from what I know, no one has survived an interaction with her to this date. This is the first time. So this is also the first time where they're actually going to be able to collect legitimate information, having a shared space with the variant. I'm not entirely convinced, and there's a lot of talk on the internet about how this person is actually Sylvie, or the Enchantress from the comics. I think that there was some translation in the credits that revealed this. I don't know if that's the case. It is a working fan theory. I kind of like it. However, I would really like to see some of the Lokis interact with each other. So if this isn't a Loki, I'm really hoping that we get that down the line. But what did you guys think of this episode? Let me know down in the comments below. There's a lot here to unpack that I didn't cover in this video. There are a lot of things that I'm really excited to see in future episodes. I'm hoping that we actually get an explanation for why Agent Carter popped up in episode 1. I'm hoping that there's a chance that we have multiple Lokis interacting, maybe working together to take down this Lady Loki, Sylvie person, character, whoever she turns out to be. And I'm really hoping that Mobius finally gets to ride a jet ski. That would mean ultimate fan satisfaction for me personally, but I'm really curious to hear what you guys thought about this episode and how you're feeling about the series overall. Let me know down in the comments, and if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. It really helps out my channel, helps other people to find these videos, and if you liked this video, please don't forget to leave it a like. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate your support so much. And with that, dear friend, we are at the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It really means so much to me that you would spend your time watching my videos. I enjoy making these videos. I hope you enjoy watching them as much as I enjoy making them. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.